Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I guess what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to make a whole series of videos about the Jason Meade, Casey Goodson murder trial and put them up on the channel. The reason I am going to make a whole series of these videos is because it is currently Wednesday, February the 7th at 11:40 a.m. The trial is still ongoing, but it's very clear to me that Deputy Jason Meade is going to be found not guilty of murdering Casey Goodson Jr. If you're not familiar with the story, I've got a little bit of a headline up here, but this is the story where Deputy Jason Meade was working a U.S. Marshals task force, and on December the 4th, 2020, he shot and killed Casey Goodson Jr. The story from the family is that Casey Goodson Jr. was doing nothing more than carrying a bag of Subway sandwiches when he was shot and killed by Jason Meade. Jason Meade's version of the story is very different. He testified, and I'll play his testimony in another video, but he testified that he was driving down the road. Casey Goodson was driving towards him. Casey Goodson had a weapon in his hand, pointed it at the deputy. The deputy turned around, gave chase, ended up confronting him at the back door, and he's saying that Casey Goodson had a plastic bag in one hand and a gun in the other, and that he turned and pointed the gun at him. This caused Deputy Jason Meade to discharge his weapon, ended up shooting and killing Casey Goodson. So he was subsequently charged with murder, and he is currently on trial. The trial is what we're going to be talking about, and the specific part of the trial that we're going to be talking about today is going to be, well, and I guess I should back up a little bit. One of the things that I decided to do is because I believe firmly that he's going to be found not guilty in this trial. The reason I believe he's going to be found not guilty is because I've been watching the trial and the trial testimony. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some highlights showing the moments of the trial that kind of went in his way. These are going to be the moments in the trial that were the most important moments that convinced the jury that Jason Meade is not guilty of committing a crime, that Jason Meade did not murder Casey Goodson, that the shooting, the use of force that Deputy Jason Meade had on that day was a justified use of force. So the video that I'm going to show you today, the testimony that I'm going to show you today, is of this woman here, Dr. Ann Shepler. She worked for the Franklin County Coroner's Office. She is the one that did the medical or the forensics examination of Casey Goodson Jr.'s body. She testified, I don't know, the other day. I'm not sure what day her testimony was, but it was very good, very interesting testimony. And I've got some screenshots I'm going to pull up for you here. This is where her testimony began. I will get my face out of the way a little bit better. These are diagrams that were taken from her medical examiner's report, and she was on the stand testifying as to her findings. And one of the main things that she testified to, and you can see here, is that the rounds that entered Casey Goodson Jr.'s body entered primarily from the right side, the right rear of his body, and exited from the front left of his body. What the prosecution is saying, and what Casey Goodson's family is saying, and a lot of the people that want to see a conviction in this case are saying, is that Casey Goodson was holding a bag of Subway sandwiches. Jason Meade walked up behind him and shot him 6 times in the back for no reason. What Deputy Meade is saying is that he confronted a man armed with a gun. The guy turned towards him. He then discharged his weapon, shooting and killing Casey Goodson. The trajectory of the bullets would suggest that the rounds actually went in through his Casey Goodson's lower right side and had an upward trajectory like this, demonstrating that his body was bladed towards Deputy Meade when he discharged his weapon. And the footage that I'm going to show you today, let's see, I have it right here. This is actually one of the moments that the defense, the medical examiner, was actually a witness for the prosecution. The prosecution had her up there and just was drilling it into the jury's head that Casey Goodson was shot in the back 6 times. Said that over and over and over again. What the defense team did was they brought a yardstick up, and they had the medical examiner actually hold the yardstick and show the trajectory of the bullets as they entered Casey Goodson's body. And then they manipulated a person, as you can see, another attorney that was in the courtroom, and they showed that he could have been doing all of these different things, and this bullet trajectory would have been consistent. So what they did is they demonstrated that, in fact, Casey could have been pointing a gun behind his back when he got shot, and that would explain the trajectory of those rounds. Now, the reason I'm going to say this definitively was a turning point in the trial, this was testimony and evidence that 100% doesn't vindicate Deputy Meade, but it supports Deputy Meade's story. It supports the version of events that he recalls. It supports the justification he gave for discharging his weapon on that day. Then you also have the situation where the prosecution gets to redirect. They get to challenge what it was that the defense just presented. So what they did was they actually pulled the door off of Casey Goodson's home, or the home that Casey Goodson was living in, residing in at the time that he was killed. And they're going to try to get the medical examiner to use the door to demonstrate trajectory of the bullets, whatever. I'm going to play you both sides. I'm going to play you the defense giving their demonstration of how the bullet trajectory. Then I'm going to show you the prosecutor trying to use the door to demonstrate something. And this is one of those instances where the prosecutor comes across looking inept. I think inept is a very generous way to describe how the prosecution is handling this case so far. Basically what you're going to see is 5 minutes. The defense had about 3 minutes, and then the prosecution spent about 5 minutes just bumbling up around in the courtroom, looking inept, looking stupid, not having a plan, not knowing what it is that they're doing. The reason that they were bumbling around without a plan, not being able to demonstrate what it is that they're trying to say, is because what they're saying is not supported by the evidence in this case. The accusations being made by the prosecution in this case are not supported by the evidence or the testimony being given by any of the witnesses or experts or anybody that was involved in this case. And I think that this was the first point that became very, very clear. So without further ado, I will get out of the way and let you see the testimony for yourself.
So,
do you want to come down?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to out of your guys as well. So, Doctor, for the record, in theory, this is how you examine the entrance and exit wounds. Okay. So, in theory, Doctor, if there was an entrance room right here and it was flat through and it didn't hit anything, correct?
It would be hard to not hit
Well,
but yes, okay.
we're in hypo world.
Hypo,
Okay, in theory, you would be able to trace a path that say, hey, this is back to front and the direction is straight.
Back to front with no significant upward
Or
or
downward,
downward deviation.
or no right to
Or
left.
right to left.
No upward or downward deviation, and no right to left.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in this scenario, in the report that you have 2 wounds on the right side of the back, correct?
Objection is where he's pointing.
Right back and right buttock.
Right back and right buttocks.
Yes.
You have 2 at the midline, on the left side of the midline, and then you have 2 over here. So kind of 2, 2, and 2. All of them, however, are upward, right to left, back to front. Okay?
Objection is now he has his point.
Overruled. So in this situation, okay, it would, the consistent, if this was the way it was, with the bullet path coming this way, along the ruler to there, that would yield all the same things, correct? The person would be basically where you are.
What do you mean by?
When the bullet's coming towards it, okay?
Okay.
So basically upward, right to left, correct?
If you're saying like this.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct, right? Okay, so however, if the body is not, stay right there, if the body is positioned like this, then this angle comes over here, correct? The bullet could be coming from that way, correct? It would give you the same results.
You could.
Right to left, upward, back to
Yeah.
front.
If I'm in the same, yes.
Yes.
To left, yeah.
Now, if it's positioned this way, keep coming, it would still give you back to front, right to left, and upward, correct?
Yes.
All of those, so this position right here, Mr. Norton, even more, keep coming, that would give you the same results, consistent, with the entrance room being right to left, back to front, and upward, correct? All of those would be consistent based on your expertise.
Yes.
Now, the person could be bent, correct? For the record down. The person could be squatting more, correct? And all of those scenarios would still give you the same results. Upward, right to left, back to front.
Yes. Depending on where you're shooting.
Depending on where the
Yes.
person is,
Yes.
and depending on where the body is.
Yes.
If the body's like this, then the person would have to be over there. If the body's like this, then the person would have to be over to the right. You would agree with that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Mulder, you're all set.
I would have preferred the firearm.
Alrighty, so there you saw the defense having the medical examiner do her thing. Now it's the opportunity for the prosecutor to come up and, I don't know, try to put on his demonstration for the jury, and you can see how that goes.
Diagrams. Those are diagrams where somebody's standing upright,
Yes. Yes.
everything's stationary.
Correct.
That would be,
And one thing I should say, I'm looking at the body when it's laying down, so I can't really say that he's standing up for these, but
no, I'm saying from the, yeah, but at least the trajectories would be as a
the trajectories are the bullet pathways through the body at, basically at autopsy. So, which I'm examining while they're on the, laying on the table. So,
Hey, Josh, can I use your assistance?
Yes.
Now, let's, place this door, and let's assume this is threshold.
Okay.
And the door's at a 45-degree angle, all right?
okay.
Okay. And I'm standing here.
Your Honor,
Josh?
okay if she gets off the stand so she can see?
If she needs to, yeah.
Now, Josh, if you could maybe place the pointer, okay, like I'm standing here at the doorknob.
How do you want me to place it?
Place it so it's in one of the trajectories that Dr. Shepler testified.
Your Honor, she can't testify about trajectories until it hits the body. That's what she just answered his question. No, Your Honor, she can't testify
Overruled, just,
through a door?
just,
Are we? Okay. Well, where is the shooter?
Well, I just,
You just mean through the body?
yes, through the body as you were testifying to.
Okay, which gunshot wound?
Which one?
Take it,
Okay.
just take it.
Okay. So if we have this midline, mid back, which again, that's, okay. So it would be slightly upward and it's going, but
Right to left.
yeah, I gotta be over here. So,
Gary, you don't move. She moves.
Yes.
yeah, keep stay still. All right, so it would have to go this way and upward. I don't know if you can appreciate that. But, thereabouts, but it's hard to do this.
Okay. Now, I'm going to move, and then you keep it at that same angle, okay?
Okay,
All right, keep it at that angle. Okay, I'm gonna move slow,
okay.
okay? Got to move, right?
Oh, I don't know if I can move.
Which direction would you have to move?
Again, Your Honor, she,
Overruled.
I guess I don't understand the question.
Okay, here, Josh, would you grab the pointer? You just,
Can you line it up with how you had it before?
Okay.
Thank you.
So you've got that angle, correct?
Yeah,
Is that consistent?
it's hard to do, but it's, yes.
Okay, you ready? Okay, now I'm going to turn. To keep that same angle. In other words, to keep that same angle.
Turn back.
Okay, you ready?
Stop. Stop.
Is there a question, Your Honor?
I have no idea what's going on, so.
What angle are you?
Is there a question?
Is there a question, Mr. Schroyer?
Set up the demonstration of what Mr. Collins did.
I asked a
You
question.
still have to ask a question. This is a question and answer.
Have you got positioned where the angle is?
Which
The
angle?
trajectory. Let's say gunshot number 1.
Your Honor, can he stop from using the term trajectory unless it's inside the body?
I'll sustain as to that.
Thank you.
Okay, and you got a position?
One
It's gotta
here.
be,
Here.
okay. So if it's going right to left and upward and back to front,
Okay.
this would be, yeah. Again, I don't know where the shooter is, so this is.
Correct, I understand. It's where it entered my body.
Right.
Okay. But that,
So again, Your Honor, is that enough? Move on.
Mr. Schroyer, move on.
So then move on.
Doctor, you can come back.
So, as you could see, the defense had a very clear-cut plan on how they were going to handle this situation. The reason that the defense's explanation and plan went so smoothly is because it fits reality. It fits what actually happened on this day. When the prosecution tried to come up and rebut their evidence and tried to bring in the screen door and tried to show, that the defense was wrong, and they're trying to demonstrate that they can prove that Jason Meade did something illegal, that his actions were not justified, they literally just bumbled around on the, I'm going to call it the stage. They bumbled it around on the courtroom to the point that the judge even spoke up and said, "I'm not even sure what's going on here."
I have no idea what's going on, so.
So when this verdict comes out and Jason Meade is found not guilty, there's going to be a lot of people that act surprised. Nobody should be surprised. Nobody that has been watching this trial should be surprised by the verdict when it does come out, because this is a case that never should have been prosecuted. Jason Meade never should have been charged in this case. And the testimony that you saw today is just one example of why I'm making that comment. So I don't know, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys later.